The jungle was quiet. Too quiet. Birds didn't sing, wind didn't move. And the ground was warm, like it remembered something burning. A human squad moved slowly through the trees. 5 soldiers. Helmets on, weapons ready. They had picked up a strange signal, short, sharp, repeating, not a distress call, not a trap, just strange. Keep eyes sharp, said Sergeant Kane. Copy, answered Nate, the youngest. They stepped into a wide clearing and stopped. A ship had crashed here. Small, not human. Metal cracked open, smoke rising from deep inside. Black vines wrapped around the wreckage. Red moss grew where fuel had leaked. Doesn't look like it exploded, said Eric, the squad's medic. More like pulled down. Kane raised his hand. Move in. Weapons low. Scan everything. They stepped closer. The ship made no sound. Nate moved toward the main hatch, half burned, stuck open. He aimed his flashlight inside. At first he saw nothing but smoke and shadows. Then movement. Small, slow, a shape. He stepped back. There's someone in there. Kane walked over. You sure? Yes. They aimed their lights together, and that's when they saw her. She was lying on the floor of the ship, alien.female. Her skin was light gray, almost silver. Long dark hair, soft face. Glowing blue lines across her arms and neck. She was breathing. Barely. Her eyes opened. Slow, heavy, and locked onto Nate. Her voice was dry. Don't leave me, she said. Then reached out and touched his face. Her fingers were cold, but his skin burned where she touched. Back up, Kane shouted. Nate pulled away. But something felt strange. His heart pounded fast. Too fast. You okay? Eric asked. Yeah, Nate said. I think so. Bring the med kit, Kane said. We're not leaving her here. They pulled her from the ship. She was light. Too light, like something had drained her. Her eyes stayed on Nate the whole time. Not scared, just focused, like she knew him, like she had seen him before. Back at their camp, the fire was low. They gave her water, food, warmth. She drank slowly, said nothing. Nate sat nearby staring at the flames. His hand still felt warm from where she touched him. She looked at him again, then leaned close. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For not fearing me. Nate didn't answer. Not because he didn't want to, but because deep down, he wasn't sure that was true. Later that night, Eric walked over to Kane. She's not normal. We don't know that. You didn't see his vitals after she touched him. What do you mean? His heart rate jumped to double. Tempe spiked. He said he felt fine, but that's not fine. You think she's a threat? Eric looked back at the sleeping girl, then at Nate. I think she already picked one of us. In the morning, Nate woke first. He looked around. The fire was cold, the forest silent, and beside him, she was already awake, just sitting, watching him, not blinking. You're not afraid of me, she said. Should I be? He asked. She tilted her head, then smiled, softly. Not yet. The sun was rising. Light slid between the trees, painting the ground gold. Birds returned. Insects buzzed. And for a while, the jungle felt calm. But the squad didn't relax. Not completely, because the alien girl was still with them. And she didn't sleep. She sat by the fire, still as a statue. Her skin looked brighter now, eyes clearer, breath steady. She looked at each soldier with quiet interest. But when her eyes found Nate, they stayed. He looked back once, then quickly away. She smiled, to herself. How is she healing so fast? Eric whispered. Her body runs hot, said Jake, the tech guy. Like, charged. What's she charging with? Kane asked. Nobody answered. But Nate looked down at his hand again, the one she had touched. It still felt warm. By afternoon, she started walking around camp, barefoot, calm, curious. She stood close to Eric as he cleaned a rifle. Too close. He flinched when her fingers brushed his shoulder. She tilted her head. "Why are you cold?" "I'm not cold," he said. "Then why do you shake?" "Back off," he muttered. She stepped away without a word, but her face looked disappointed. That night she brought Nate a piece of strange fruit, glowing blue, soft like jelly. He stared at it. "What is this?" "Safe," she said. "I found it in the forest." He didn't eat it, but he said thank you. And for the first time, she sat beside him, not saying anything, just being near. He didn't know why, but he didn't move away. Later, Eric called for help. His voice was loud, sharp. Panicked. "He's gone," he shouted. "His stuff's here, but he's gone." Everyone ran to Eric's tent. It was empty. Blanket crumpled, gun untouched, boots still on the ground. No blood, no tracks, no sound, only heat. The ground where Eric had been sleeping was warm. Too warm. Nate touched it and pulled his hand back fast. "It's like he melted," Jake whispered. They looked at the alien girl. She stood near the edge of the firelight. Calm. Quiet. Watching. "What did you do to him?" Kane asked. "He was afraid," she said softly. "What does that mean?" She looked down. "Fear makes me hungry." The squad raised their weapons. Nate stepped in front of her. "Wait," he said. "She didn't attack. Maybe." "He's gone," Kane snapped. "She warned us. He's dead." "We don't know that," Nate said. The girl placed a hand on Nate's back. His heart raced, but it didn't feel wrong. It felt warm, strong, clear. She whispered, "You're not like them." No one slept that night, not even the jungle. The animals had vanished, and the warmth in the ground kept rising, not from fire, but from her. The fire was low, the jungle still. No wind, no birds, no Eric. Only silence. And her. She sat across from the squad, legs folded, eyes closed, breathing slow, not asleep, not resting, just waiting. Nate watched her from his tent. He hadn't moved in hours. His thoughts felt louder than his heartbeat. He didn't know what scared him more, what she had done to Eric, or what she had done to him. That morning, he woke up stronger. His back didn't hurt. His cuts were healed. His thoughts were clear. Too clear. He could hear Jake's breathing from across the camp, feel the insects moving beneath the ground. Something in him had shifted, and it all started the night she touched his spine. At noon, Kane called a meeting. His voice was tight, sharp. "We vote now," he said. "She leaves." Nate stepped forward. "We don't even know what she is." "Exactly. She's not attacking anyone. Not yet. We need to understand her." Eric tried. Nate looked around. No one met his eyes, except her. She was standing again, quiet, still, watching him. That night, she came to his tent. No sound, no knock. Just there. He sat up fast. His hand went to his rifle, but she didn't move toward him. She only said, "You are changing." He said nothing. She stepped closer. "I didn't take from you," she whispered. "Then what did you do?" "You let me give." Her eyes glowed softly in the dark, not blue, not red, a color he couldn't name. "Fear feeds me," she said, "but trust transforms." "Transforms what?" "You." He stood up slowly. His chest felt warm again. His fingertips pulsed. "What are you turning me into?" "Not into me," she said. "Into you, but brighter." He stared at her, silent, unsure, then said, "Why me?" She smiled, sad and soft. "Because you didn't look away." Outside, Jake saw them standing together and ran to Kane. "He's with her now," Jake said. "He's part of it." Kane picked up his rifle. "Then he goes too." The next morning, Nate woke alone. She was gone, but her warmth was still in the air. The fire was already burning, and next to it, his hands left glowing, marks on the wood, not burns, not paint, just light. His body was no longer only human, and neither was his heart. The forest felt warmer now, not from sunlight, from her. Everything near her pulsed with soft heat. The ground, the air, even the shadows. She wasn't glowing. She wasn't floating. But somehow, she felt bigger, and the squad noticed. Especially Jake. Jake watched her closely. Too closely. He saw how she looked at Nate. How Nate was stronger now. Faster. Sharper. Different. He wanted that for himself. She feeds on fear, Jake whispered one night. Then I won't be afraid. But hunger isn't just about food, and she wasn't just feeding. That night, Jake waited until everyone else slept. He crept past the fire. Quiet boots, quiet breath. She sat on a stone, alone, eyes closed. I'm not scared of you, he said. She didn't move. I know what you did to Nate. I want it too. Her eyes opened, slow, glowing. You don't want what he has, she said. Yes, I do. You're not like him. He's nothing. He gave me trust, she said. I'll give you more. He stepped closer, placed his hand on hers and smiled. Take it. She stared at him for a long time, then said, You asked me to. The fire went out. The trees leaned away, and Jake began to shake, first slow, then fast. His smile faded. His breath cracked. What? What are you doing? What you asked, she whispered. Heat rose around him. His eyes rolled back, and then he vanished. No scream, no blood, just light. And then ash. Nate woke first. He saw her standing alone, hands glowing, eyes dim. He wanted what you have, she said quietly. What happened to him? He came with hunger. But you're the one who's hungry, Nate said. She turned, walked slowly to him. Not for food, not for power. She touched his chest. Soft, steady. I feed on what's given freely, she said. But when they come to take, she looked away. They give me something else. What? Fear. Nate's heart beat faster, but not in panic. In understanding. And me? She looked at him again. Gentle. You gave me memory. The fire reignited by itself. Small. Bright. And she stepped back into the light. Not a monster. Not a saint. Just something. Trying to live in a world that didn't trust her kind. Kane found Jake's boots the next morning. Still warm. His gun beside them. Untouched. We're down to 3, Kane said. Nate said nothing. But inside, he felt stronger and more afraid than ever. The jungle had stopped pretending. No more animal calls. No more rustling leaves. Only silence. Deep. Patient. Listening. Nate followed her through the trees. Not because she asked, but because something inside him pulled toward her. Not fear. Not love. Something older. Like a code he didn't know he carried. They found the structure near the river, half buried in moss. It wasn't a ruin. It was a hatch. Your ship? He asked. She shook her head. Older. She pressed her hand to a flat stone. It glowed under her touch. The door opened. They stepped into the dark. No lights, no movement. Then, her footsteps made the walls breathe. Soft blue veins lit up in the stone. Symbols flickered. Nate couldn't read them. But she could. Her hand brushed the wall like it was a memory. This was not a ship, she said. It was a lab. Nate paused. Lab for what? She didn't answer. She walked deeper, and the truth waited. In the next room, machines lined the walls, tanks, tubes, pods cracked open. Inside the glass, bones. Not all human, not all alien, but all similar, same patterns, same glow, same design. She walked to one pod, touched it with both hands. "This is where I began," she whispered. "You were made." She nodded. "Not born. Shaped." The screen near the pod came to life. An old voice played. Male. Steady. Cold. Subject class. Bioempath. Designed to survive extinction. Emotional converter. Consumes negative reaction. Fear, rage, control. Converts positive reaction, trust, desire, memory into strength. Requires balance. Failure to balance leads to subject collapse or planetary reaction. Nate stepped back. "You're a weapon." She turned to him, but her face looked calm. "I was supposed to be. But you're not." She walked closer, placed his hand against the console. It lit up. His pulse echoed through the floor. "You changed that," she said. The machine scanned his body. Data appeared on the wall. Cells, shifting. Light in his spine. Energy in his bones. His heart, no longer fully human. "What did you do to me?" he asked. She stepped closer. Soft voice. "You're not becoming me." "Then what?" "You're becoming what I was supposed to be. Above them." The planet hummed. Roots moved beneath the soil. Leaves turned to face the sky. The jungle knew. The ground felt. And the one she chose was changing everything. The skies broke at dawn. Clouds tore open. Engines roared. A military dropship came down hard through the jungle canopy. Big. Loud. Armed. Too late. Kane stood at the edge of the clearing, rifle ready. He had sent the signal 3 nights ago, after Eric vanished. After Jake turned to ash and now command had arrived, 3 soldiers stepped out of the ship. Clean armor, scanning eyes, cold hands, behind them, a tall man in a black coat. Commander Lusk. "Where is the alien?" he asked. No greeting, no questions. Just that. Kane pointed toward the trees. Still breathing. Still watching. Lusk nodded. "Bring her in." They marched into the trees, but the jungle didn't like them. Roots shifted under their boots. Vines trembled above their heads. One soldier reached for a branch. It snapped back like a whip and cut him across the face. He cursed. The others didn't laugh. They felt it too. Something here was awake. They found her sitting near the hatch. Nate stood at her side. Her glow was soft, her eyes calm. She didn't stand. She didn't run. She just looked at them like they were already too late. Lusk stepped forward. "By Galactic Code 7.3, unauthorized alien class, you are now under containment." Nate stepped in front of her. "She's not going with you." Lusk raised an eyebrow. "Who do you think you are?" "Someone who understands her." "Stand down, soldier." Nate didn't move. She didn't kill anyone who didn't try to take something first. Lusk pulled his weapon. The jungle whispered. The moment the gun charged, the ground shifted. Lusk didn't notice. But she did. Her hand touched the dirt. "Don't," Nate whispered. She looked at him once. Soft. Sad. Then said, "They don't want to listen." And the jungle answered her. Roots exploded from the ground, thick as arms, faster than thought. They wrapped around legs, tore into steel, pulled weapons away like toys. The trees groaned. The air cracked. The ship outside began to spark, its landing gear sinking into the mud. The forest was eating it. Lusk screamed, but no one heard him for long. A single vine wrapped his throat and pulled him into the trees. No blood, no cry, just gone. Nate stood still. She stood beside him. Her hands were warm, but her body shook. She looked at him. "I told you. I was made for war. You didn't want this," he said. "No," she whispered. But the world remembers, and the jungle quieted again, as if nothing happened, as if it had just cleared its throat. Only one soldier survived. He dropped his gear, ran into the woods, never looked back. Kane stood frozen, rifle still in his hands. "We're not the good guys, are we?" he asked. No one answered. Not her, not Nate, not the trees. The sun rose fully. Light washed over the clearing. Her glow faded a little. Nate looked at her. "You could have killed all of us." She looked down. "I still might." But she didn't mean it like a threat. She meant it like a truth she didn't want, and he understood. The forest was calm. No fire. No shouting. No more ships falling from the sky. Just wind. Just light. And her, she sat by the old hatch, her knees pulled to her chest. Nate sat nearby, quiet. He hadn't spoken since the forest answered her. Not because he was afraid, because he didn't know what to say. What do you say to something born in a lab but who chose not to become a weapon? What do you say to someone who could end you and didn't? "They'll come again," she said softly. "Yes," Nate replied, "with bigger guns. Yes. You should leave." "I won't." She looked at him. His face was calm, and his skin still glowed faintly under his collar. "You've changed," she said. "So have you." Kane packed his gear nearby. He didn't speak to them anymore, he just watched the trees. He knew the planet was awake now, and it remembered every boot print. He would leave soon, but he knew not to return. Not here. Not to her. Nate stepped beside her. "You can leave," he said. "And go where?" "Anywhere." She looked at the jungle. "They won't stop chasing me." "Then let them." "Why?" "Because you're not running anymore." She stood, looked up at the sky. It was blue today. Not green. Not red. Just soft, open blue. A breeze passed through her hair. For the first time, she didn't flinch. She just closed her eyes and breathed. "What happens now?" she asked. Nate smiled. "Whatever you choose." She turned to him. "They built me to feed, and you did. They built me to fight, and you did. They never built me to feel." He nodded. "But you do." She stepped closer, touched his chest. "You're still human," she whispered. He smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just a better version now." She smiled back. Soft. Small. Real. The hatch behind her closed for the last time. She didn't need it anymore. She didn't need the lab, or the war, or the hunger. She had something else now. Choice. She began to walk, slowly, calmly, into the trees. Not hiding. Not fleeing. Just walking. Free. Nate watched her go. He didn't follow right away. He waited, because she wasn't his to follow. But, after a moment, she looked back and nodded once. And he smiled. Then stepped forward, into the jungle, into the quiet, into a future written not by force, but by something simple, something new, something human.